Full overtime game here at the EA Sports Maui Invitational was in 1992. The 7th place game, Chaminade beat Stanford 71-63 in double overtime. Not quite the same marquee matchup, not the same hype, not the same level of play that we've seen in this one.
It's been absolutely extraordinary. The plays by Shannon Brown and Maurice Ager and Paul Davis, and then on the other end, Morrison and Rivio. It's been really an extraordinary basketball game.
I'm amazed at the response of both teams. Second game, both third in Michigan State's case, their understanding of how to put people away, being creative with the dribble when the jump shot isn't going. It's just been a pleasure.
Now, will the coaches be distressed about defense? I mean, you have to give credit for these great offensive players making plays, but is it in any way a product of shaky defense?
At times. There are going to be instances where the defense could have and should have been better, but I mean, you have to give a tremendous amount of credit, and you are, to the great offense that we've seen. For Michigan State, it's been all about Maurice Ager. Saddled with foul trouble most of the game, but with 13 minutes left in the ballgame, Tom Izzo went back to him, and he really delivered, Bill.
And it's been feast week for him, or at least feast day, and shots contested he's been able to knock down, and you know, all of a sudden the mainstays, look at those numbers, huh?
Both are career highs. Ager's career high was 24, last accomplished in the Final Four, lost to North Carolina. 24 of those in the second half in overtime for Maurice, the senior from Detroit, of Crockett High School, the first recruit as head coach for Tom Izzo out of Detroit's public school league. And Ager will inbound. 26 on the shot clock. Tie game at 95 in the second overtime, which has 2:18 remaining. Ager will inbound from the other side in front of his bench with Davis, Brown, Neitzel, and Suton.
Gonzaga sticking with that 2-3 zone.
Brown drives right by Pendergraft, short with the shot. Pendergraft ripped it away from Brown.
He is a tough kid. He's got an offensive rebound at the other end. Really competes.
And he's played in these important minutes. The sophomore, David Pendergraft, who last year averaged just under 3 points and 2.5 rebounds a game.
Morrison's so active. Look at this look. Oh, what a great feed. He saw that before he caught it, Jay.
Morrison to Batista, 22 for Batista. He's had 20+ in all 3 of their games this year. Gonzaga by 2, 1:36 to go in the second overtime. Ager, too strong. Batista the rebound.
UCLA cut side pick and roll, the pin down.
Suton the hit ahead to Neitzel. And with a minute to go in the second overtime, Michigan State has tied it up at 97, 12 points for Neitzel.
And Rivio just couldn't get the ball out far enough on the dribble. Great deflection.
Morrison, a deep 3. You wonder about that shot selection. He's demonstrated he can make it, but was that the best option now? Held ball, Gonzaga gets it back.
You know, probably not, Sean, but when you're that talented, this is just a terrific deflection, Jay. And a nice play by Brown just to ward off the impending defense.
Well, Rivio, as good a ball handler as he is, Neitzel just went behind and knocked that thing away and went the other way with it. And again, the team that's going to win this game is the team that makes the big defensive stop.
Rivio will hold the ball. 3.8 seconds difference between the game clock and the shot clock. I think this time they'll be alert to the shot clock buzzer if it happens again.
I think they're going to start with about 15 to 13 seconds just so you get some motion.
And give yourself an opportunity for an offensive rebound as well.
But they got the timeout.
The 10 seconds on the shot clock. That's what Mark Few wanted.
IRS problems? Associated Tax.
They'll have 10 seconds to run a play, take the lead, and perhaps win it if they could score here. They got into overtime when Maurice Ager hit a 3 at the buzzer at the end of regulation. Ager's been sensational. Morrison has been his equal for Gonzaga. A delectable feast tonight here in Maui, and still another ball game to come, Arizona and Connecticut. And you think now, guys, those coaches have a job on their hands. It's tough when you've been waiting all day to come play, then you come here and sit around and get a little bit stale and stiff waiting to go.
Well, it can happen, but they've got 20 minutes to get ready. I think in the end of this game, Gonzaga now can afford to take this all the way down to the end of that shot clock because of the 3.8-second differential and still have an offensive rebound opportunity.
And here's the controversial play. Players stop. Shot clock buzzer went off. Baptiste could have laid it up and won the game. Not the real understanding, just play through it, and they didn't.
Well, plus that shot clock is awfully loud. I mean, that is a really loud shot clock.
Like the horn
yeah.
almost.
How nip and tuck has this game been? The last time either team led by more than 3 points was with 9:08 remaining in the second half when Gonzaga led 59-55. There have been 15 ties in the game, 21 lead changes.
Down to 5.
On the shot clock, Rivio a deep 3, short. Rebound Brown. They have some time. 3 seconds to go. He launches. It will not count even if it goes in. He traveled, and we head for a third overtime.
Wow.
Now Mark Few wants them to go to the monitor and see if they should put time back on the clock.
You know, Sean, that was not a good trip by Gonzaga. You know, the timeout late. They got back on the floor. They end up settling for a real deep jump shot. Less than 5. You know, get into it a little quicker would have been more effective and impact. A good call here as the slippage occurred just over half court.
Well, they might have it looked like it could have as much as a second remaining. If they want to go by when the infraction occurred rather than the whistle.
They slipped on that logo. It looked like about 1.2. Of course, it takes a second. Not a second, but it takes some measure of time to blow the whistle, react to what you see. The slip came at 1.2.
There's a part of you that just says, let's go to the third overtime.
Yeah.
Let's not do this.
But there is a chance to catch it and shoot it at .9.
Yeah, no, there's more
know?
than a chance.
Yeah. We'll get it just over half court. That'll be the nearest inbounding position. How about
Mike
these?
Stewart and Mike Kitts, 2 of the 3 officials. Let's listen for the whistle and watch the clock at the same time. Well, there was time left. I would say about 0.6 when we heard the whistle. But I didn't see any of the officials over there with a headset on, so I'm not sure they could have heard what we just heard. The gesture Mike Kitts just made would lead me to believe we're heading for the third overtime right now.
We're going to say lag time. Hey, I want the second.
What's that?
I would want the second.
Oh, if you're Mark Few, you want the second. If you're Tom Izzo, you want to go to the third overtime.
Now he's going to put a headset on. We'll lay out. Now Mike Kitts just watched and heard what you heard. What would you guys say, 0.6, 0.7?
I think they'll go less than that, just a guess. Point, you know, because the lag time, etc. 1-2, 1-3. You got to give him something. They're saying you tell him. I'm not going in there.
Well, there's 5 minutes up on the scoreboard clock, so.
Mike Kitts going into the Gonzaga huddle. Donnie Gray telling Tom Izzo what transpired. And based on the look on Izzo's face, I think they are going to put time back on the second overtime clock. Mike Kitts just came over. He watched what we watched. He's going to put 9/10 of a second back on. And that seems about right. The travel looked like it came at 1.2 seconds. It does take that fraction of time. I think it'd be hard to argue that.
Yeah.
There certainly should have been some time put back on, and 0.9 is about as good as anybody's guess.
You can do a few things here. Back screen lob.
Well,
you can screen, fake the lob, step to the ball, turn and shoot it. Right?
you can also get something coming off a screen to get it more in front of Gonzaga's bench, whether it's deep down in the corner or.
Now these coaches have had all this time